Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, we cannot hear.
Yeah, now we can use. Hare Krishna. Should I read purport and translation purport one more time? Because they didn't. They, Hare Krishna, were you able to hear translation purport?
No, Prabhuji, now we can hear.
Okay, I'll read one more time. Yeah, purport is also important. Lord Shiva said, "My dear Lord, my mind and consciousness are always fixed on your lotus feet, which as the source of all benediction and fulfillment of all desires, are worshipped by all liberated great sages, because your lotus feet are worthy of worship. With my mind fixed on your lotus feet, I am no longer disturbed by the persons who blaspheme me, claiming that my activities are not purified. I do not mind their accusations, and I excuse them out of compassion, just as you exhibited compassion towards all living entities." In purport, Prabhupada says that no, like Lord Shiva was became angry on Daksha, and now he is regretting that he unnecessarily became angry, and he's like no, he is glorifying the lotus feet of the Vishnu or Krishna, and saying that I am only be I was but even though others blaspheme me, I was able to maintain. You know, I was not agitated only because I was attached to. I was not attached to. I was attached to the your lotus feet. So and finally he says, from the statement of Lord Shiva, it is understood that he uh, he was always in Krishna consciousness, and thus he remained free from material afflictions. Only the remedy, therefore, is to continue Krishna consciousness rigidly in order to get out of the contamination of material modes. So Prabhupada also saying that while staying in this material world, if you don't want to get contaminated by the material modes, only solution is to be attached to the lotus feet of Krishna. So now we'll go to the context of this verse. So basically, it all started with like no, Lord Shiva forgiving Daksha, and Daksha finished the sacrifice. As soon as Daksha offered clarified butter in the with Yajurveda mantras in the sanctified meditation, Lord Vishnu appeared in his original form of Narayan. So when Lord Vishnu appeared, first of all, Shukadeva Goswami glorifies the Narayan. Lord Narayan was seated on the shoulders of Strotra or Garuda, who had big wings. As soon as Lord appeared, all the directions were illuminated, diminishing the luster of Brahma and other presence. So his complexion was blackish. Now many of us say like no Krishna is bluish black, but he is saying blackish, and his yellow garments like gold, and his helmet dazzling as sun. His hair was bluish, the color of the black bees, and his face was decorated with earrings. His 8 hands held conch shell, wheel, club, lotus flower, arrow, bow, shield, and sword, and they were decorated with golden ornaments such as bangles, bracelets. His whole body resembled a blossoming tree, beautifully decorated with various kinds of flowers. Now, and then Lord Vishnu looked extraordinarily beautiful because the goddess of fortune and the garlands were situated on his chest. His face was beautifully decorated with smiling attitude, which can captivate the entire world, especially the devotees. The fans of white hair appeared on the both sides of the Lord like swans, and the white canopy over Lord's head looked like a moon. As soon as Lord Vishnu, visible to all demigods, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Gandharvas, all present there, immediately offered prayers and their respectable obeisances falling down straight before him. So then comes the verse. In the presence of glaring effulgence of the body luster of Narayana, everyone's luster faded away, and everyone stopped speaking. Fearful with awe and veneration, all present touched their heads and prepared to offer obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Adokshija. Although mental scope of even demigods like Brahma and are unable to comprehend the unlimited glories of the Supreme Lord, they were all able to perceive the transcendental form of the Supreme Lord by the Godhead, transcendental form of Supreme Personality of Godhead by His grace. Only by such grace could they offer respectful prayers according to their present capability, different capabilities. Okay. So when Lord Vishnu accepted the oblations in the sacrifice, Daksha Prajapati began with great pleasure offering respectable prayers unto him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually the master of all sacrifice and preceptor of the Prajapatis, and he is served even by the such personalities as Nanda and Sunanda. So until this point of time, the scene was described how Lord appeared, Lord's beauty, and all those things. And now is coming to the section of prayers offered by different personalities present there to the Supreme Personality of God, Narayana. Now, if you see, there was a great disturbance, like now the relationship, like emotionally, physically, everybody went through a lot of anxiety. Now, if say like a nice meeting was there, suddenly some dispute arises between two people, and two people get on to hand and started punching each other. And finally, everything is settled. Then they will sit down and contemplate how this happened. This happened because of you only. This happened because of no. It's not accusation. We should have done like this, like this. We contemplate, right? The same way after this ghastly event of like killing and all the insults, blah, finally they cooled down, and then they finally, when they offered oblations to the sacrifice, Lord appeared, just like children when they are fighting among each other, and suddenly the parent or teacher enters, everyone becomes calm, and the teacher asks what happened. Then they started complaining, right? Oh, this happened because of you. So, but here we cannot say that they are complaining. Now they realize the mistakes, what led to this kind of situation. Every one of them. What are the situations that led to such a kind of quarrel and then fighting and punishment, everything happened. So it is our Acharya says that here in this section, the demigods and all those, many of them praise the Lord without sufficient understanding of the of his glories. They wanted to glorify, but they don't have sufficient knowledge to glorify the Lord. And some indirect criticism or blame of others is involved in this glorification also. So means somebody is glorifying, my Lord, you are so great. If you are like if you are there, this could not have happened. This like just like the teacher, right? Teacher, when the teacher is there, students say, if sir or madam, if you are present, this could have not happened. You are so nice, like that. So now different personalities offering different prayers, but little bit of accusing concerned person also. So first of all, the prayers were offered by Daksha. What does Daksha say? Daksha said, address the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My dear Lord, you are transcendental to all the speculative positions. You are completely spiritual, devoid of all fear. You are always in control of material energy. So here Daksha is saying, my dear Lord, our Acharaya stands. Okay, my dear Lord, you are transcendental to all the speculative positions. You are completely spiritual, devoid of all fear, and you are always in control of material energy. Even though you appear in this material energy, you are situated transcendentally. You are always free from material contamination because you are completely self-sufficient. Why did Daksha end up in this situation? Because he was thinking that Lord Shiva is contaminated person with all the ghostly figures and all the unclean persons, unclean ways of his dressing, his habits, all those things. So, because he was not able to see that glorious qualities of Lord Shiva, owing to his external appearances. See, it is said that first impression is the best impression. As soon as when we see a person, if he has nice clothes, well dressed, nice tilak, then we think that okay, he will give 50% of marks there only. Okay, he might be well behaved, well conducted, but if we see this, on the contrary, if you see a person with shabby clothes, unclean dress, and then unclean associates, then immediately we, there is a tendency that we find false. Like we don't when African American, sometimes some African Americans comes, he might be very sincere, but or because of owing to our previous experiences, we tend to see them in a very suspicious lenses. Okay, are they okay? Where they can allow, where we cannot allow. That kind of suspicion we'll have. But that person might be greatly internally he is very full of good qualities. He's such a nice person. Even though he talks nicely, also we still don't get confidence on him. Means basically there are many instances where that people they don't have good education. They try to they take different mean methods in handling the situations. So they are fearful. So in the same way, Daksha was not able to uh, understand the glories of Lord Shiva because of his external appearance. Now he is saying, I did a mistake of misjudging Lord Shiva only because of his external appearance. Like that's why in devotee circle also, it is always better to be safe in giving the right impression to the other devotees. Like for example, even though you don't have internally, you don't have any bad opinions, bad intentions. If you freely mix with opposite gender, then immediately everybody will start judging. Why? Because that is a conditioning in their brains. So it is the responsibility of every devotee to be cautious, not to give these wrong impressions, wrong indications to others. So that's why our superiors say that no, don't go to homes when only Mataji is there, or don't stay alone with opposite gender, like that. This why? Because the senses are so cunning. If you are able to control your senses, it will give wrong indication to wrong impressions to other devotees also. So Daksha, unfortunately, he ended up in that situation because he developed all this negative attitude towards Lord Shiva because of the Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva's project, how he projected himself. So it's not like a Lord Shiva fault anyway, but it is due to Daksha's conditioning. Daksha's uh, uh, Daksha's Daksha is not well qualified or well equipped with knowledge about such kind of, like it is said that Avaduta means they are beyond uh, all the regulative principles, rules and regulations. We glorify Nityananda Prabhu, right? Avaduta Paramananda Nityananda Raya means he is like even though he is in the renounced order of life, he used to go without clothes to Grostas. And Mahaprabhu used to worry, Arey, cover your body, what is this? No, you have to get on what body? Who is this? It's like he's means he's on that platform. So uh, that's why Nityananda Prabhu is called Avaduta Shiromani. Okay. So in the same way, devotees on the platform of Prema Bhakti, they are not. We cannot, a person who is not on that level cannot judge them, cannot actually understand their glories. So and Daksha is repenting now. Lord, you are so pure. Even though you are in this material world, you don't get contaminated. Huh? But Lord Shiva also doesn't get contaminated. But he appears like, as if he is not that way. Means like he is actually petitioning. He's putting forth his limitation. Okay. Now, next prayer is offered by the priests. Okay. So these are the priests who got curse of Nandi. Why? These priests took the side of Daksha. And Nandi curse, you priests, you are all Brahmanas. You just stay in this material world, hankering for all money and all this money and dakshina, whatever they give. So you be attached to karma kanda. I will do this yagya, this sacrifice, this thing, that thing, like that. So means like that way they will be hankering. Okay, this person will give more dakshina, this person will give more material things, like that. So even though Brahmanas should be very detached and very they should be on the level of platform of fully Krishna conscious, due to the curse of Nandi, they fell down. So now the priest addressed the Lord saying that, "O Lord, transcendental to the material contamination by the curse offered by the Lord Shiva's men, we have become attached to the fruity activities, and thus we are now fallen, and therefore we do not know anything about you." Because for one to know about Krishna, they should be on the platform of Krishna consciousness. Because of their misjudgment, they got the curse of Nandi. Due to that curse, they are not able to remember the glories of the Supreme Lord, and they don't know how to glorify the Lord now. So earlier, whenever the Lord appeared, they used to offer Purushasukta prayers, all those things, right? Because of the Nandikas, right? You stay in this karma kanda and be materialist only, like that, and they are expressing their limitation. And on the contrary, we are now involved in the injunction of three departments of Vedas: karma kanda, jnana kanda, upasana. Karma kanda, karma, jnana, karma kanda, jnana kanda. Means, yeah, karma kanda, karma and jnana, materialistic rituals and materialistic knowledge and materialistic upasana. You are worshipping only for the sake of material things. So they are involved in these three kinds of Vedic knowledge under the plea of executing the rituals in the form of yajna. So we are performing the plea is to perform the sacrifice, but only the main thing is our material attachments. They are not free from the material attachments. So they are expressing their limitations. But we know that you have made arrangement for distributing the respective shares of demigods. Okay, they are saying that you are keeping as an instrument in performing yajna. What will yajna do? Yajna, when a person performs yajna, it will offer oblations to the demigod. So when the priest performs yajna, the performer of yajna will offer oblations to demigods. And these priests are saying, even though you already made that arrangement without our intervention, but still you are using us out of your mercy only, so that we get benefited. We are now fully fallen because of the curse of Nandi, but still out of your compassion only, you are still engaging us in performing yajna, and uh, appears as if that we are instrumental in offering oblations to the demigods. Right? You're following, right? So like that, they are expressing their inner feelings. And then finally, the members of the assembly. So these assembly members means the persons who came to sacrifice. Who are the members of the sacrifice? Devatas, Yakshas, Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Kumpurshas. So when a sacrifice happened, like especially when Daksha started sacrifice, so everybody comes to sacrifice for expecting some advancement, right? In spiritual terms. Like for example, when we say, okay, we have kirtan program. Why we come? Because we want to make some spiritual advancement. So in the same way, when Daksha started the sacrifice, all the different personalities, greatest personalities all over the world, they came personally. So thinking that it will advance, we will be able to make advancements spiritually. But what happened? Due to all these offenses, everybody got cursed and everybody got, somebody lost body part, somebody lost life. Of course, Lord Shiva revived all of them again, but they have to undergo all those things. So the members of the assembly address the Lord, saying that, oh, exclusive shelter of all who are situated in the troubled life. In this formidable fort of conditional existence, the time element, like snake, is always looking for the opportunity to strike. So they are saying, in this metal world, this time factor is like a snake, which is always waiting to strike for opportunity moment. So when the time factor strikes, what happens? We lose our life. So death is like, everybody has a timer on the top of on them. So as soon as they take birth, the timer starts. Like the sand timer, they'll put like this. So like that, everybody has a timer, and the assembly members are saying, we don't know when is our last moment. So, and this world is full of ditches of so-called distress and happiness. So attachment and hatred are compared to ditches. Okay, and there are so many ferocious animals. Now they compared the time factor to one animal, that is snake, right? So not only snake, not only the time factor, along with time factor, still there are so many ferocious animals, offending devotees, offending great personalities, and then different calamities, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, different calamities are compared to different ferocious animals. If some deadly disease come, it is like a some form of animal attacking. So 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 they are saying there are so many ferocious animals in this mental existence, and they are always ready to attack. And the fire of lamentation is blazing, and the mirage of false happiness is always alluring. So here they are saying, what is the root cause of this mental existence? Is kama, means attachment and hatred, envy and raga and dvesha. So when we have raga, attachment, it will increase our uh, um, attach. We get more and more attached to the material things. So when we get something material, some metal, somebody glorifies me. Until this point of time, nobody glorified me. Suddenly, somebody started glorifying me. Then I think that I deserve that. And next day when I meet them, I expect the same thing. And these expectations should increasing. Now you have, like, for example, right now somebody has no job, then they will get job. Okay, like they get 70K or 90K, 100K, 100K job they get. So, and as they proceed in their job, their salary has to increase only. They cannot compromise to live on anything below that. So in the same way, due to our attachments, we derive some material happiness. And material happiness has to increase only. Any kind of decrease in the material happiness will frustrate. As soon as some loses the object of material enjoyment, immediately raga and dvesha. You hate that person, you hate that thing which actually taking your pleasure away. So they are saying this fire of lamentation means you either lament or rejoice. So when you get the object of sense gratification, you rejoice. As soon as that object is gone, you lament. So this fire of lamentation is always blazing. And in this material world, our all endeavors are only to keep all the miseries away. So this lamentation, we always worried. Oh, if I don't do that, I will not perform well in the job. Or our entire existence, our entire consciousness in material existence is to always do well or work such that the distressful situations are kept away, and we increase our keep increasing our happiness. So the assemblies, the members of the assembly are saying the fire of lamentation is always busy, and the mirage of material false happiness. So the happiness in this material world they are comparing to mirage because it doesn't actually give real happiness to us. It is like, you go expecting their happiness, but still happiness little more distance. Just the way the carrot hanging in front of the donkey. So there is no ultimate happiness in this material existence, and there is always lamentation. And thus, foolish persons live in the cycle of birth and death, always overburdened by in discharging their so-called duties, and we do not know when will they accept the shelter of your lotus feet. So, what is the ultimate solution for all the suffering for one who is in that situation, who is actually impelled by this lamentation and rejoice, is to take shelter of the Lord and to lead a very simple life, very simple life of satisfaction. Yadruchalabha santushta, right? He should be sufficiently satisfied with whatever comes on its own accord, without too much of endeavor. Endeavor should be there, but it should not be like too much of endeavor. So, and that will keeps the distress away. But what will nourish him is to attach to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Means serving devotees, serving Lord will give them spiritual nourishment. So that way, by being self-satisfied, by being satisfied with what we have, whatever, and in every respect, we keep this lamentation away. And for us to rejoice, we have to take nourishment from the association of devotees and Krishna, deities. Thus, if a person doesn't do that, thus foolish persons live cycle of birth and death, always overburdened by discharging of so-called duties. Means, if the person doesn't take shelter of the Supreme Lord and is not very satisfied, always anchoring, then he keep on performing, working, life after life after life, and spend their all those lives in this material world only. So finally, we come to these words. Now, Lord Shiva is going to offer the prayers. So Lord Shiva said, "My dear Lord, my mind and consciousness are always fixed on your lotus feet. which as the source of all benedictions and fulfillment of all desires, are worshipped by the liberated great sages, because your lotus feet of worthy of worship. Now, who is the in that entire Dakshayagna episode? Who is the greatest personality? Is Lord Shiva. Means all glories to Lord Shiva. Means he was tolerant when he was blasphemed, but no, but he showed his full he showed his power when the situations went out of hand, and again he forgave them, and then rejuvenate everybody, and then see to that the sacrifice is complete. So until now everything is centered around Lord Shiva. Now Lord Shiva is totally keeping him out of the picture, and then trying to glorify the Supreme Lord. He is saying, my mind is always fixed in your lotus feet, which is the source of all benedictions. With my mind fixed on your lotus feet, I am no longer disturbed by the persons who blaspheme me. So even though Daksha blasphemed me, I was indifferent. Now they are glorifying me. I was indifferent because I am attached to your lotus feet. So Prabhupada is saying, if you want to be if you want to be undisturbed by the external material situation, only solution is to be attached to the lotus feet of Krishna. Means to perform bhakti, to be Krishna conscious. When you are Krishna conscious, greatest calamities of our life doesn't bother at all. Our greatest pleasures or successes in life will not over elate us. So we'll be able to maintain our internal happiness by being attached to the lotus feet of Krishna. And Lord Shiva is saying, I do not mind the accusations, and I excuse them out of compassion. So Lord Shiva is saying, even though these demigods and Daksha, they actually blasphemed me, I don't mind them. Just as you exhibited compassion to the living entities. When did Krishna exhibited this such a compassion? Somebody directly blaspheming him, is every one of us, not only Shishpal, every one of us who wanted to enjoy an event of Lord is indirectly saying, Lord, you are not the enjoyer, I am the enjoyer. If we are attached to glorifying ourselves, means we are indirectly envious of Krishna. So, and despite that, Krishna is maintaining us life after life after life after life after life, as a worm, as a snake, as a plant, as an animal, as a human, as a demigod, as a Brahma, as a so we have been, like, the living entities have been passing through different species of life, trying to enjoy an event of Lord, not caring for the Supreme Lord, not being grateful about for what they have been receiving. But still, Lord, out of his compassion, is forgiving them, tolerating them, and supporting them. Without Paramatma, we will not be able to live in our body for even for 1 millisecond. As soon as Paramatma leaves, immediately the soul leaves the body. So Paramatma is there with us. Lord Vishnu, is in the form of Kshirodaksha. Vishnu is within the heart of every living entity, and he is patiently out of his compassion, he is helping us to carry on with our life. So, for one to perfect their life, as said by Lord, the associates of the sacrifice, one has to keep in the ashram of devotees and be self-satisfied. And we can be able to do great things, even like in our devotional circle or anything, is only by the mercy of Krishna. The personality like Lord Shiva himself is saying, Lord Shiva is not saying something like flattery, anything like that. He is saying the truth only by your mercy. Means when we are devotees of Krishna, we have to exhibit the qualities of Krishna. God is Krishna, Adoshadarshi, he never finds any fault, and always self-satisfied, Atma Rama, and then always well-wisher of everyone, every living entity. Samoham Sarvabhutesh is friend of all living entities. What do you call the verse name? No, not that one. I'm friend of well-wisher of all living entities. That's okay. So, हम सर्वस्य ब्रह्मत्तः सर्वम्. Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. So, to be well-wisher of all living entities, not only humans, but all the animals, enemies, friends, we should be the well-wisher of all living entities. These are the qualities of Krishna. And the same, the following the footsteps of Lord Shiva is saying, just like you, I'm compassionate, just like you. In the same way, when we want to be devotees of Krishna, we should be able to follow the footsteps of Krishna, follow the footsteps of great spiritual masters like Prabhupada. Okay, that's what I can think of. If anybody have any questions or comments, any questions? Anybody have any questions? Okay. Online, anybody have any questions? Okay, Olympia, Dantara, Srimad Bhagavatam, ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was a very nice class, especially the point where you mentioned as soon as Paramatma leaves, the soul cannot even live for a millisecond. So just to think on that point itself is such a big meditation. Thank you for bringing that point up, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dantara, Srimad Bhagavatam ki